Today on Forbes, how Jeffrey Epstein helped his publicist become a big-time venture capitalist. Jeffrey Epstein was late. A startup founder sat in an ornate room in Epstein's Upper East Side mansion, dominated by a 9-foot-tall painting of former President Bill Clinton in the blue Monica Lewinsky dress, hoping Epstein might fund his company. One of his early investors, Masha Boucher, had arranged the meeting, describing Epstein as a rich businessman with a passion for science. The founder only realized Epstein's darker reputation after searching his name in the Uber. When Epstein arrived, he brushed off questions about his career, bragged about connections to Bill Gates and the Google founders, then interrupted the pitch. Two young women entered. One sat on Epstein's knee as he asked, quote, "Can you guess which one is older?" The founder left feeling revolted. This was one of at least 9 connections Boucher, founder of VC firm Day One Ventures, made between Epstein and Silicon Valley startup founders, according to emails released in the Department of Justice document dump. Epstein met Boucher in 2017, hiring her to help rehabilitate his reputation after his 2008 sex trafficking conviction, and supported her as she began investing. In 2019, she wrote, quote, "I would never create my fund without the ideas and knowledge you shared with me." Now 36 years old, Boucher says she wrote early checks to 22 unicorns, including Elon Musk's xAI, Sam Altman's World and Valor Atomics, and has managed over $450 million. That success is rare for any female VC, especially a Russian-born former publicist with no prior investing track record. Emails from 2017 to 2019 show Epstein sending Boucher gifts, paying for hotel stays and salon visits, and holding long calls. They exchanged photos and videos. In one chat, Epstein solicited nude photos from her. It is unclear if she sent them. Boucher has said she was not paid and, quote, "didn't do research in the beginning, which I very much regret." There is no allegation that Boucher broke laws, but maintaining ties to Epstein after his 2008 conviction has created reputational problems for many. In March 2017, an email from an unknown sender whose name was redacted titled, quote, "Wonder Lady Masha Drakova and her project," described her as a, quote, "young-age lady," end quote, planning to, quote, "conquer the world." Another email noted she sent candidates who were, quote, "not pretty enough." Messages also detailed her background. Born in Russia in 1989, a former leader of the Kremlin-linked Nazi movement, and the subject of the documentary Putin's Kiss, a reference to a famous moment when she kissed President Vladimir Putin on the cheek. She later gave up her citizenship after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As Boucher worked for Epstein, she brokered meetings with journalists and secured coverage that omitted his conviction. In 2017, Epstein wrote, quote, "Rich, send Masha $25K, referencing payments tied to media outreach. One article on Bitcoin failed to mention his past until editors added a correction. While working for Epstein, Boucher moved into investing. She raised Day One Ventures in 2018 and backed startups such as House, Hotel Tonight, and PandaDoc. House stated that Boucher served as a PR consultant for a few months in 2015 and that the company has not been in contact with her since. Hotel Tonight, now owned by Airbnb, and PandaDoc did not respond to requests for comment. She later invested in xAI and collaborated with OpenAI on an art show, earning a spot on Forbes' 30 Under 30. In 2022, The Washington Post reported that her fundraising pitches cited Russian oligarchs. Boucher disputed the claims. She said at the time she deeply regretted supporting Putin and his government. However, one 2017 email shows her asking Epstein for introductions to, quote, "adequate Russian oligarchs." Boucher's ties to Russia have continued to draw scrutiny, especially as she started investing in defense and AI companies. She's now one of the most prominent investors in an emerging hub of defense startups based in El Segundo, California. Emails show Boucher introducing Epstein to founders including Brian Johnson and others. Johnson said he left their Zoom call feeling, quote, "deeply unsettled." Another founder said Boucher introduced them to Epstein without naming him beforehand. After a hostile meeting, they cut contact. Epstein rarely invested in tech despite emailing figures like Peter Thiel, Reid Hoffman, and Elon Musk. Still, Boucher continued updating him. In 2018, she thanked him for advice about selling companies. She wrote, quote, "I'm so grateful for you," and Epstein replied, quote, "proud." Their correspondence continued until 11 days before his 2019 arrest. In their final exchange, Boucher shared updates on her health and startups and thanked her, quote, "great friend." Epstein died in jail a month later. For full coverage, check out Ian Martin's piece on forbes.com. This is John Palmer from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.